nerdy people, I guess. I became good friends with them, some of them. Because they're more interested in like the Japanese culture, anime, and they have a Japanese
like
club.
otaku.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a Japanese club.
They did.
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
I don't know. They talked
Like they
about
cosplayed as Japanese people?
No.
Oh.
Like they just talked about some, I don't know, Japanese thing and gave us like.
And you had a lecture every week.
No, I was there as a participant.
A bunch of white kids were like, Akane, you're going to learn about Japan today.
Sort of.
Yeah. Akane, you've been to how many countries?
I've been to 66 countries so far.
66 countries, and your favorite one is
Slovenia.
That was very, very, believable.
Yeah. I was trying to read your mouth, you know.
Yeah, if you didn't say it, I would have said it for you.
Yeah, I bet.
No, but for real, please be honest. You don't have to say Slovenia. I'm gonna be offended, but no, you can say whatever.
It's hard to pick a favorite, you know, because my favorite country for food, for example, would be like Spain or Italy or Greece.
Good choice.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
Very healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then I like the sceneries of of
Oh,
course,
pigeons are all over. I'm sorry, I can't focus.
It's alright.
Okay, sorry.
No worries. Like for sceneries.
I'm sorry, but that's. He's
Do
at my
you have
backpack.
Stuff? Oh, wait. You don't have any food in there, right?
Huh?
You don't have any food in there, right?
I think I have some crumbs
Oh,
all
maybe
over my
you
backpack.
have to like close it.
Yeah, sorry. For food?
Yeah, for food, like those Mediterranean countries, but like for sceneries, like, I love New Zealand, for example. Gorgeous views, mountains and lake and like.
New Zealand, kind of like Slovenia, only a bit shittier. No, but it is like mountains.
Yeah,
lakes.
I know
but
what
it's
you mean.
it's. I know. I mean, Lord of the Rings. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would love to go there.
And I did live there when I was little for a year.
Wait,
so-
I thought you lived in Alaska for
as well, yeah.
All right.
So I've lived in 3 places outside of Japan in my life. So one was New Zealand when I was in 2nd grade, and then one was in Alaska when I was in high school, and then one in Illinois when I was in college.
Wow.
So all 1 year each.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is that unusual for Japanese people?
I would say so. Like for the majority of
Yeah.
people, yeah. I wouldn't say it's very. I mean, I was around a lot of people who had a similar experience. Just because I go to school that has a lot of people like that, stuff like
Well,
that.
you went to an international school or something?
No. I meant like more for college.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, there were some kids at my middle school, high school, like who's been to overseas for their like parents' work or something when they were little. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like super common.
A bit of a delicate question.
Okay.
What a start. But I often heard that if Japanese people live abroad for a while, when they come back, some people say they lose some of their Japanese-ness, if that makes sense. Is that just something that people say, or is that a real thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. It depends on the person, right?
What was your experience?
I definitely lost some of the Japanese-ness, maybe.
Okay, what does that even mean? 'Cause
I don't know. I don't know. People define it differently, but I think I don't know. Like, I guess it is a delicate topic because it delves into like stereotypes of Japanese.
Yeah.
But it is true that a lot of people here they don't like to stand out, for example,
I see.
or voice their opinions clearly, and I did
You came
all
back
of
from
that.
New Zealand and you're just like performing in front of the class all the time.
But I was a bit different, like because I went to like elementary school here for 1 year, and then I went abroad and came back in the 3rd year.
Sorry, when was that? High school?
No, elementary school.
Elementary school?
For New Zealand.
Oh, wow. So what were you, like 10 or something?
Yeah, I was like 7 or 8. So like my friends could definitely tell the difference.
Yeah.
They were with me for a year, and then I was abroad and came back. They were like, "Oh, I can see that you've changed. You're different now. I mean, I got bullied a little bit when I came back, just because I was so different.
Right. When you came back, and your English must have been like standing out then immediately.
Yeah, but then
you have English in elementary school, right? Everybody has English in elementary school.
Not in elementary school. I mean, maybe nowadays, but back when I was in school,
right.
We didn't.
But did you pick up English like that in New Zealand in that year because you were so young?
Yes, but then it's second grader English, so it's not like.
I see.
Super.
It's not like the political situation in New Zealand discussion all the time.
Yes, I was able to have conversations, but like it wasn't like I knew grammar or anything. It was more like how a kid would learn.
Right. But despite that, it was a little bit uncomfortable when you came back. You chose to do it again twice.
Yes.
Okay. Respect. And the second time was?
So second time was Alaska, and I was in the first year of high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, it was like in the middle of school year for us. I went to when I was like 15, and then came back when I was 16. Well. Wait
a minute.
Uh-huh.
Out of all places you could have like picked in the States, you chose Alaska, or that was the only that was what was available?
I put United States of America.
Like,
they sent me to Alaska.
Damn. Because I just picture Game of Thrones Beyond the Wall. Eternal darkness. Yeah. Everything's frozen.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, that's what I imagined too.
Were you scared?
I was really shocked.
When they told you?
Yeah, because it was like 5 days before I was supposed to leave.
5 days before you're supposed to leave? They're like, okay, pack up some winter clothes as well.
Yeah.
You're not going to California.
I did that, yeah. I put out all the t-shirts out, and like I put little warmer clothes in. And I was really shocked.
And you were what, 16?
I was 15.
15.
I think I cried for a day.
I want to cry right now.
Yeah.
I mean, listening to this story.
Yeah. But I had an amazing time there. Everything was beyond my wildest imagination.
In a bad way or in a good
way? In a good way, of course. Yeah, like I had a really great host family. My host sisters were triplets.
Yeah.
And their birthdays were a day before mine. So we were kind of like real sisters. We bonded really quickly. We had a great combined birthday party for all of us.
Oh, that doesn't sound too bad.
It was really nice. They were very.
And where were you in Alaska? Anchorage is the capital, right?
No, I think Juneau is the capital.
Oh.
And Anchorage is the biggest city in Alaska. I was in Homer, which is 5 hours and a half drive down from Anchorage.
Did you say Homer? Like
Homer.
The Simpsons?
Yeah, Homer Simpson. Homer. It's
Ancient
a fishing
Greek
town.
poet, let's say that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fishing town. It was back then when I was there, it was a town of 3,000 people. Mm-hmm. Now it has increased to 5,000 or so, I heard. But it's a really small, really tiny community.
I'm from Slovenia. We have a bunch of these like shitty little. Not that Homer was shitty.
Homer is not shitty.
It was not shitty. No, it was great.
Yeah.
I almost forgot. Speaking of Slovenia, I got you and David something like ages ago.
Oh my goodness.
When I went there, when was it, January? And I always forgot to give it to you guys. David's not here. He's going to be with us in one of the next episodes. But yeah, it's a Viljamoka.
Uh-huh.
It's really strong.
Okay.
Quite spicy.
Is it like pear?
Pear, yeah, pear liquor.
Oh, wow.
People drink it like it's nobody's business, but you shouldn't. It's like a little, grandma digestif.
Yeah.
That's okay, but some people, and then they don't remember anything for 48 hours.
Right.
But yeah, I like it, but it's strong.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome, yeah.
That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely try.
So now is your favorite country Slovenia? I'm sorry. Homer.
Homer, yes. Yeah. I went to the local high school, participated in...
Wait, how multicultural is Homer?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I would say there was like one Mexican family, one black family, 2 Asian families in town.
Wow.
Yeah, the rest was Caucasian.
Very white, Caucasian. But you You liked it.
I loved it.
People treated you nicely.
Yes, everybody was nice.
How's American high school? Is it like the movies? I've never been to the States.
You
know, like you have
yeah.
the jocks and the emos or whatever, and then the nerds. And is it really like that? A little bit? Even in Alaska?
A little bit. Because there's only one high school in that town, right? So, I mean, it wasn't a big high school, but everybody went there. Like, literally everybody who grew up there went there. Yeah. So, we had all kinds of different types of people. The athletes, the football player, the basketball players, then they were nerdy people, I guess. I became good friends with them, some of them. Because they're more interested in like the Japanese culture, anime, and they have a Japanese
like
club.
Otaku.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a Japanese club?
They did.
Sorry, what does that mean?
I don't know, they talked
like they
about...
cosplayed as Japanese people?
No.
Oh.
Like, they just talked about some, I don't know, Japanese thing and gave us like...
And you had a lecture every week?
No, I was there as a participant.
A bunch of white kids were like, Akane, you're going to learn about Japan today.
Sort of.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Well, yeah. Speaking of, when I was in Illinois during college, I tried to like go to many different student organizations, try out, right? I went to
Sorry, what kind of organizations?
Student organizations,
yeah.
like
Okay.
any sports,
Gotcha.
art, whatever. And once I went to jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, like
Brazilian jiu-jitsu or
no, just
Japanese?
Japanese. Yeah. But like everybody's American, of course, and then the teacher is a white guy, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, listen up. Let me tell you about Japan. And I was like, nope.
Oh,
So I
that's
left after
amazing.
this first
Yum,
day.
yum, yum, yum. That's so good.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir, I thought this was a jiu-jitsu class.
Well, I mean, like, we did all of that, but then he liked to talk about
Japan
the
also.
culture, yeah.
But did he even, like, go?
I don't know, maybe, but...
Maybe, but also maybe not.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, you pick interesting. I mean, was Illinois? Was it picked for you as well, or did you pick that one?
It was my second choice.
What was your first choice?
St. Louis.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there was a university that I wanted to go to, like, for the exchange program that had, like, a good, like, academic program for me. But then, unfortunately, I didn't get in because they were only accepting one student from that entire school.
Right.
So, somebody...
Your second choice was Illinois?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know anything about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Why not?
why not?
Where is it?
It's like 3 hours down from Chicago.
All right. And what's it got going for it?
There's nothing but cornfield, and it's very flat.
It's like rural.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Very.
I see. In the city.
It's a very huge student, like, campus town.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So lots of students, lots of.
Wait, where did Kaz study? Our friend Kaz. Also, he's also gonna do one of these.
Indiana, I think.
Indiana. Okay.
Yeah. So it's next to each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how was that?
You mean in Illinois?
Yeah.
The academic side was great. Like, it was amazing. Like, all the professors were super high quality. All the other students were very smart. Everybody, like, I had an amazing time. I had great friends. Well, my social life was shit.
What? How come?
It was just, I don't know. I didn't know anybody when I went there.
Yeah.
It went better. Like, it's gotten better, like, after, like, the first semester. But, like, I think the first semester when I got there, it's a huge place. There's so many people, right? But then I don't know anybody.
Well, now you see how it feels like when you move to Japan. I was just crying in my pillow for 3 months. I didn't know anybody here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy we became friends.
Well, you had your wife.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, that's true. You didn't even have
I
like
didn't.
David or anybody,
No.
right? Yeah, yeah, that's true. But you want some friends,
Exactly.
You need some friends, and I don't know what I was thinking, because I was like 38 when I moved. That was like 2 years ago. It's just like I'm just gonna become friends with everybody as soon as the plane lands. It doesn't. Yeah, stupid. Anyway, what did you study?
I studied philosophy mainly. Like I study a lot of subjects just because that's how my like undergraduate program was. It was like liberal arts in general. Like it was my degree is like a bachelor of arts in international liberal studies.
International liberal studies. Nice.
It's like you study a bunch of
Social
subjects,
studies,
everything, like literally everything.
Humanities.
Everything.
Everything.
I study statistics, biology, lots of humanities, like, philosophy, international relations, politics. We had like a lot of art and music, so we took like I took like an opera class. So we had a practical course where you have to sing at the end of the semester. That's like your final exam.
Wow.
And
I wish we had that in Eastern Europe.
Yeah. That's kind of like you learn like a bit of everything.
But can you just like pick any subject you want? Like opera singing and philosophy and...
Yeah, that's basically what I did, yeah.
And in Japan you studied what then? Philosophy?
Well, I wanted to...
Because this was an exchange, right? Or no?
Oh,
You're
sorry.
going to Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois was just 1 year.
Yeah.
So like in Japan, it was also like all the studies were conducted in English.
Also here?
Yeah, also here.
Okay, I see.
So it was kind of similar but very different because I wanted to focus more on philosophy.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking for good schools that had
Right.
good philosophy programs, which happened to be one of the schools I picked.
But here what was your...
Here, like I
main,
said, I wanted to study philosophy, but they only had like one professor in my department. So I took everything from him, but then...
But your degree is then in liberal international.
It's like international liberal
It's
studies.
nice. But what's then the career path if you study international liberal studies? Like what do people do?
So,
it's like diplomacy or something?
So like here, unlike many other places, like it doesn't matter what you study during college. It's like, I don't know, a lot of companies, like even like the big name companies, they would accept any students that study anything in college. Like I think they look at their potential more than what they study. Like they're not really looking for like specific skills unless you're into, I don't know,
like
IT
medicine.
or of course medicine. So it just didn't really matter what you studied. So I don't think people put a lot of thought into like what they major in.
But then how do companies find people that need to fill their vacancies if any university or college applies?
I think most companies look at like their
how did you get a job?
Just going through interviews.
You just apply?
Yeah.
And then you're like,
yes or no, right?
Yes or no, interview, doesn't matter what you studied. But you do have to finish, right? They do need to see that you have a degree.
Of course.
That means something.
No, like having a degree and also which university you went to matters.
I see.
Yeah. So it's more like where you went to than what you studied.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But then whatever you majored in, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Like maybe did fencing and opera singing for like 4 years. Or like acting or whatever.
Yeah,
and like,
you could.
Yeah, sure. Come work for this telephone communications company.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And your university was?
Waseda University.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, right?
It's pretty well known. Like it has a lot of students. So,
yeah. It would be funny if you were like, no, that's a really shitty one.
It's alright.
But then they allowed you to go out for a year and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was mandatory actually for my degree.
Right.
To go abroad for a year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I actually enjoyed it.
By the way, you're one of the few Japanese people that I know here that wants to go like abroad for a while again to live. How come?
I mean, I've only spent 3 years overseas. I think it's time. I like new
stuff. Where would you go?
So since I've been to the States twice already, I think somewhere other than the States. Hopefully
Eastern Europe is practically empty for a reason.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. It can be nice. But maybe
Maybe not.
Maybe not Eastern Europe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, to travel, it was nice. I
Because
loved
you've been.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Like last year during Golden Week, I went to Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova,
Okay.
Transnistria.
Okay. No, we're going down.
Down.
And now we're gonna come up because you've been in the Balkans as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I went to Croatia,
Yeah.
Bosnia Herzegovina.
Serbia?
No, I didn't go to Serbia. No.
Slovenia, you went.
Yeah, I went to Slovenia.
Yes.
I feel like I'm missing one or two.
Montenegro?
Montenegro.
You've been?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Just a day trip from Croatia.
I mean, it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's like 500,000 people. No, but seriously, where would you go if you would? Because you've been to 66 countries.
Yeah.
Okay, the U.S. is out.
Yours is out.
Where would you go?
You know what? I don't know. I haven't decided.
Okay.
That's probably why I haven't done it yet.
But it's got to be Europe, right? Probably.
Probably, most likely.
I'm really like pushing you.
No, I really did enjoy Europe, and it's kind of like one of my dreams to live there and like go to a different country every weekend.
Ah, all right. You know what? Like Slovenia is super tiny. I wouldn't recommend. But I mean, it's nice. Like it's safe. If you want to have a family and stuff, it's like a lot of nature.
Nice.
But the good thing is that you drive because it's so tiny. You drive for 1 hour and you're like in Italy or in Austria.
Oh,
or in
that
Hungary.
sounds amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So if you're doing a lot of trips, I think it could be feasible. But there's many countries like that in Europe, actually.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
maybe not an hour, but yeah.
Well, one place I was thinking about was Estonia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because they have like a digital nomad like visa.
Yeah.
It's like more like not as strict as other countries too.
It's a bit nippy, though. It's a bit cold, no?
Yeah,
I haven't been.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I lived in Alaska, so.
All right. Yeah.
It's
you don't give a
fine.
shit about that.
I also really like the color of their flag. For some reason, it's my favorite.
It's like white, blue,
black.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's so beautiful.
We got a little bit of not beef, but you know when I tell a lot of the time Western Europeans, especially, I'm from the Balkans. They're like, oh, Estonia. You know, they think Baltics. I'm like, fuck's sake, it's like 1,000 kilometers. It's not even in the neighborhood.
It's not. Yeah, it's very.
What are you
different.
doing? You know what? I'm surprised that here, as soon as I tell Japanese people I'm from Slovenia, they know. And when I lived in Germany for 10 years, they're like, oh, Serbia, or oh, Siberia, or oh, if I was lucky,
Really?
Slovakia. Okay, that I understand that, you know,
Yeah.
it's very similar. Slavonia or whatever, you know.
Wow,
yeah.
people are creative.
You oh, I just was watching a YouTube video about how like young Japanese people are not traveling as much as older generations. A lot of them don't even have a passport. I don't remember the numbers, but they're like dropping significantly. And part of it is they said that because the yen is so weak, it's just like getting more and more difficult financially. But also they're not that interested. You're the opposite though.
I'm the polar opposite.
Yeah. But why do you think that is? Maybe if you talk to your like Japanese pals and stuff.
I don't know. Like, I mean, for one thing, language barrier for sure.
Right.
Like a lot of Japanese are not fluent in Japanese, or even if they know, like, I mean, to be honest, they do know a lot of words because we learn in school, and also there's a lot of Japanese words that we just like use, like imported from English, like just directly, right? We
But
just pronounce it in the Japanese way.
Erebeta.
Erebeta. Yeah. So I'd say like, I mean, I don't know. I think people are not confident enough to speak it. Like, I think a lot of people do know a lot of words, and if they try to make an effort, they can probably like make a conversation here or there, but they're maybe not, they feel like they have to be perfect maybe. Like a lot of Japanese are more perfectionist than those who are not.
So they're
from
kind of
Japan.
mortified if they're making mistakes.
Yeah,
I see.
I think there was a bit of a culture where like, you know, you get kind of like punished for making mistakes, and like
In school?
It's more like, I don't know, yeah, or like maybe like they get more embarrassed.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Kind of. You don't really have a good experience from making mistakes and learning. So then people just don't even like want to go there.
Right. And what happens in school when you get like a really bad grade? Is the teacher like dressing you down, or everybody's just like, oh my, like it's a kind of like a silent disappointment, or nobody gives a crap?
It really depends on the school again.
I see.
But then my school, for example, if you get a really bad, like low point on the test, like you have to like attend special like classes on the weekend and stuff. I think. Yeah.
And everybody knows you're there.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
That means you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my grades were so bad, they were in the toilet all the time, and I repeated the first year in high school.
No
Yeah.
way.
And that like, if you're one of those, you're either like really not suitable to go to like we call it gymnasia, like gymnasium, kind of like that's a high school if you want to go study afterwards. It's not like you're gonna become. It's not like a professional.
Yeah.
High school. So either that or you're a criminal. My parents were so shocked. Like it was a big shock. So yeah, and then I just had like piss poor grades all the time. But we kind of almost, at least boys were just a nightmare. I went to actually a good high school, and we were just like kind of competing in bad grades. All the guys in the class, there was like six fellas and like 22 girls. And the girls, no problems, and all of the boys' problems, and like bad grades and stuff.
Okay.
So it's kind of like all the teachers were like, yeah, guys, we're gonna have bad grades. Kind of like it wasn't a big deal,
Okay.
Yeah, I repeated, and I still kind of made it through at the end. So I suppose that's different. Yeah, but in Japan, it's probably not the same. The guys are just like causing problems in high school and like being loud and like.
Probably, but then I went to all girls school, so I wouldn't know. And even my college, like 70% of the students were like female students.
How common is it to go to like an all boys or an all girls?
In Tokyo, I wouldn't say it's uncommon. Like we have an interesting system here. So in Tokyo, all the private schools are like seem to be like more prestigious schools, or like people want to send their kids to like private schools. They usually are middle school and high school combined, so it's like 6 years. You don't have to like take an entrance exam to go to high school, so it's like good. But outside of Tokyo, in the countryside or other areas, the public schools are like more prestigious. So they parents want to send their kids to public schools,
which are free.
Maybe now it's free. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Everything changes every so often. So I'm not. But so for public schools, it's almost always co-ed. But for private school, co-ed is like mixed, like guys and girls.
That's
mixed.
a public one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for private schools, there's a lot of schools that are only like female students or like male students. So I would say in Tokyo it's not uncommon, but outside of Tokyo maybe it's not as.
How is that?
I enjoyed it actually. Like the reason why.
No troublemakers.
The reason why I went to all girls school, it was my decision. I wanted to go to all girls. I told you that back in elementary school I got bullied, right? After coming back from New Zealand, I got bullied by a group of guys, like group of boys.
What
like
the hell?
6 or 7 boys.
Yeah.
And they were physical sometimes.
Jesus.
As well. They were like...
What a bunch of losers.
They were like, slam into me and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there. Like all the time, like every day.
I don't get that.
Yeah, it was stupid. But I was like, I cannot deal with stupid boys anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like if I were to go to a local middle school, I would have had to go to school with them, and I really didn't want to. That was why. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. I still hang out with a lot of friends from back then, like my school. Yeah, I mean, you kind of learn how to do things without like boys. Carrying heavy stuff.
I see.
And,
okay.
Like, learning how to lead. And
Okay.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It makes us more independent.
I mean, I think, to be quite honest, I think like all the girls in my class also wished this was an all girls school, because they're just like, oh my god, look at these fucking kids. Just what is this?
Yeah.
Like. we were all in the back, just like laughing at stupid jokes all the time. But we didn't bully like girls. At least that. At least, but I feel bad for my teachers. That's all I'm going to say in high school. You know.
But it also, I think, makes sense because when guys mature and when girls mature, it's very different when growing up. So
yeah, for me it was like 6 months ago, and I'm like almost 40. Oh gosh.
So I think in terms of maturity level, like it made sense, like for me at least, to go to all girls school.
And how's the pressure in high school that you have to academically succeed or be good? Because I heard, I don't know if it's true, from one of my neighbors. He's a kid. He's studying at a university right now. And he said, oh, university is not that hard, but getting to a good university is really hard.
Exactly.
So I imagine there must be a lot of pressure in high school.
Yes and no. Like I said, it really depends on the school and then the students.
Yeah.
Like if they do want to get into schools, or like if the high school is like really up there, and everybody goes to, like, for example, University of Tokyo, which is the best university, then you kind of have the pressure to follow, everybody else. But my school wasn't like that, really. Like, people did all kinds of things. So academically, I didn't really feel a lot of pressure, but I put a lot of pressure on myself, I think.
Yeah. I wish I've done some of that. High school, we've done it. How's it being a professional in Tokyo? You're a professional, you work for like a really nice company.
Yeah, I work for a international consulting.
Yeah, because there's a lot of myth and generalizations about like Japanese work culture and work ethic and all that stuff on the internet, just like rolling around. What's your experience?
So it's interesting because I got to experience like what it's like to work in Japan before COVID and after COVID. It's a completely different experience.
Oh.
So before COVID, not only I worked for a very Japanese company. I mean, it was an international company, but then like the working culture was very Japanese. We only had Japanese employees. So lots of late nights, and you're expected to work, overtime all the time, weekends sometimes.
Getting some extra cheese?
Yeah, we had like fixed overtime.
Yeah.
So, but then the worst part is no matter how much you do, you still get paid the same.
Yeah.
And lots of drinking after work.
Nomikai?
Nomikai, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was before COVID, so it was very
Were you
common.
expected to go drinking too?
Sometimes, yeah.
And did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I always
if your senpai says, oh, let's go, you go.
You're like, when and where? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've seen when I went out, I like a drink, and I've seen but it's usually guys in suits.
Yeah.
And I talked to one of the guys recently in Roppongi, where I was having a drink in a bar, and he was like, yeah, I'm here with my boss, we're drinking. So I didn't know if it's common for women to come, to be expected to come as well.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
It's kind of like, at least it makes it a bit more equal, but I don't know if you want equality in that specifically. But maybe it's nice, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like it's never really like a male boss and a female subordinate.
Yeah,
like
of course.
that's weird. But like no, it's usually a bigger group. So if you're in the same team or something,
everybody goes.
And it was hard, but then sometimes I kind of miss it, to be honest.
And then after COVID?
After COVID, everything changed
Remote.
for me because I started working for a company that just. I work remotely 100%, so I don't interact with my colleagues outside of work at all, like zero. Maybe once a year during like a work kickoff event, but like you don't really get a close connection with them, right?
Yeah.
That's why I say I kind of missed that first company culture, even though some of it was toxic for sure.
Right.
Just because you get to know the person, you get to know like what your boss likes, what like what they do outside of work. You get to know their personality, kind of like I don't know. I think it made a difference when you like work, because knowing who they are, or them to know who you are. Because I don't think my direct boss at my current company knows who I am at all. At all. Like I don't think he knows or cares.
He's just like, where's the fucking email or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My last company was remote too, and I also missed that. We did go on a retreat, and that was like awesome. But I was like, oh, this should be happening all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you become so much closer. So it's just like computer 12 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't see anybody. You're like a troll. You know, I went to a co-working space, but everybody's sitting behind their own computer. It's like, no, it's not the same. Anyway, but would you say, okay, you didn't work in the States, right? You were studying.
I was studying, yeah.
But would you say that here you have to work more on average than in the West?
I'd say so, yeah. But I also then, at the same time, I heard that in the States you're also expected to work overtime.
Yeah, the States are crazy.
So, yeah, I don't know. I can't really compare.
My last company was.
Really? Yeah. But in general, I think compared to the rest of the world, we are expected to work more, without complaining.
Yeah. Do you say something sometimes?
I mean, to my...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Hey, it's my husband's birthday today. I'm not going to work for like 60 or whatever.
No, I never really... Well, the good thing about working remotely is like that you can adjust your schedule.
Right.
So then if I do have something important, then I'll do that and then come back to work afterwards.
Hey, do they check if like your mouse is moving?
I don't know, maybe. They could.
Some companies apparently are doing that.
Yeah,
but
they could.
Somebody invented like a fake arm or something
I saw that too.
That's like the Balkan way, trying to cheat your way through.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, if my company wanted to check who's, you know, online or not, they could. But, I mean, there's so many employees, I don't think they really care. As long as you get your work done, right?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And we're, like, busy enough that, like, nobody's gonna have the time to, like, just sit around.
Right. Yeah. What was that? I just do this.
Yeah.
The boss is like, hey, it's fine. His mouse is still moving.
And the bosses are way too busy to like check on them.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay. Yeah, but that means also like that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
You're a fencer, Akane.
Yes. Like you yourself.
I dabble. We did fence quite a lot. No, not quite a lot. A bit.
A bit, yeah.
When I came to Japan, and I have to say that you consistently kicked my ass, which is not.
Well, you had a
blank.
black. You had a long.
Also, I was just sweaty and like breathing hard, like a little bulldog.
Everybody is.
It's some more than other. And then there's this 70-year-old Japanese gentleman that's not breaking a sweat, and he crushed me also. Anyway. How'd you get into that? And why didn't you do the samurai?
The kendo?
Yeah, because that looks cool as hell as well.
Okay, I have a story for that. When I was in 5th grade, my friend, like my best friend back then, she was learning kendo at the local elementary school. She wanted me to like join, but I didn't for some reason. I still don't know why till this day.
Maybe you didn't like her that much. Okay, that was easy to crack. No, just kidding.
I think I was even since then I was more interested in Western style fencing than kendo, because I think I read.
But where did you stumble on it?
I think I read like Sherlock Holmes and like he was doing it, and also maybe I was watching like 007. You know, there's a lot of fencing scenes.
James Bond.
Oh,
yeah. Right.
So I don't know, like I don't remember when I learned about it, but I just knew that there was like fencing since I was really little. I mean, Lord of the Rings too. And fast forward to college, I took fencing class, just elective. I didn't need credits.
In the States or here?
No, here in Japan. My school is big on sports. We have a lot of Olympians and whatnot, so they had a fencing class.
Coach. Yeah.
So any student could take it as an elective, and I took it at the end of my senior year. I didn't have to, I just did for fun. Yeah. And it really stuck with me. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I've always wanted to try it, and now that I try it, like I could do this.
Yeah.
But then when I was living with my parents at first, like after working for the first company, there wasn't like many like fencing clubs around where I was living.
Even in Tokyo?
Especially in Tokyo.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's only less
Because
than.
it's like 40 million people here. You expect that there's everything.
That's
under
what
the
I
sun.
thought too. But then there's only 10,000, less than 10,000 people
Who do fencing.
who do fencing in Japan. So there's really not that
Wait,
much.
but the Japanese national team is pretty successful.
Yes,
as of
nowadays.
late.
Nowadays.
Yeah. But when you were growing up, that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case.
Okay.
Yeah. There's only one guy who's like maybe
Yeah.
successful. But anyway, so I always had that in the back of my mind because I couldn't really continue after college. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I wish I could. But then I moved to near Shinjuku, right? And then COVID hit, and then I was like, oh, I need to work out. I need to like exercise and stay healthy. What can I do? And then I was like, what about fencing? Is there like fencing club nearby?
Yeah.
And also it was during COVID.
Right.
So, like fencing, you can wear a mask, you can like maintain a distance. This may be a
Maybe it's
perfect
open,
sport.
yeah.
And then I managed to find a club that wasn't too far away.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it started.
And you've been doing it ever since?
Yes,
You're
for
doing
the
a lot of
past
competitions. I see it on the
3
gram.
years.
Yeah. And by the way, during COVID, how was it with like doing sports? How strict was it here?
I don't know. I
Like
think
if you wanted to play basketball or football, like indoors, would they let you do it, or would this?
I don't think so. Not for a while.
But you could do fencing, or also not for a while.
I'm not sure because I think I started doing it after like the really like
Hardcore
hard-
lockdown
yeah.
phase. Because I'm getting like mixed. Because I came afterwards after COVID, and I'm getting a lot of like mixed messages. Some people are saying, oh, it was really bad, like it was really strict. Some people are saying, no, it was great, like it wasn't strict at all. So I don't know what
yeah.
really kind of happened.
Right. I think, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it was bad in a way that, like, a lot of places, like, for example, like the restaurants, they all closed, like, before 8 p.m. But then at the same time, they were open during the day.
Yeah.
So, like, not, like, unlike many other countries, right? So, I don't know. It's like, I guess it depends on your perspective, right?
Yeah.
Compared
Yeah,
to
I
the rest of
suppose.
the world, it was probably much better. But then
Okay.
people were wearing masks, like people were always like maintaining social distance a lot longer than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard
What
to
about the train where you're packed together?
tell. Yeah. Still it was
okay.
packed.
Yeah, I was in Germany at the time, in Berlin, and part of it was really pretty severe, like the lockdowns and stuff. I had like a small I love basketball. I had a small basketball court around the corner, and during the lockdown period, I went to just by myself, you know, to like shoot the hoops a little bit.
Yep.
And an old German guy saw me from the window because he was smoking a cigarette. And he was like, "You gotta get out of here." I was like, "There's nobody around for like hundreds of kilometers, you know? Like, why? No, I'm staying." And he called the police immediately. And they
Whoa.
came over and they're like, even they felt bad because they saw I was alone. But they're like, "This asshole called us. You gotta go." Yeah, it's very German. I imagine it wasn't like that here. I hope.
No, I don't think so.
Akane,
Yep.
thank you so much.
Of course.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Same here.
Next time, I'm gonna force you and David to taste this while we record this.
Yeah.
And I want to see your faces when you try when you try Viljamoka.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be entertaining.
Do you want to
sure.
shout out any of your? Probably not, right?
Shut up.
Like, because I had a couple of this is so awkward. I had a couple of conversations with like people who wanted to promote like a class or a special evening or their social media or their work or anything.
Okay.
But I don't know if you want to do any. I mean.
No, but like like I said, there's not enough people in Japan who do fencing and
Good
fencing. Yeah, I kind of want to promote fencing in a way
Yeah.
because it's such a good sport and you can continue when you're older, which is great. Like great
Yeah.
health benefits, right? It's a lot of cardio, but then
It's a lot of cardio.
When you get used to it, your body gets stronger. And
I didn't get used to it.
I've gotten nothing but benefits like from fencing.
Yeah.
I've,
And you're doing what? Saber, epee?
I am doing saber and epee both. Yeah. My main is epee for now, but I do saber because it's
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no other sports get to you get to like poke or cut people seriously without having to worry about the consequences. It's very stress relieving. So
I think like the Japanese National Fencing Association should use this.
Oh yes.
Use this promo.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I gotta go back.
Yeah,
I do want to cut people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool.
Thanks again.
Yeah.